everyone. How's everybody doing today? My name is Sharon DeCoster, and I am so excited to be here before you, here coming live from Cary, North Carolina, the beautiful city of Cary in North Carolina, celebrating the release of my personal book entitled My Journey to Building a Better You. It is my personal memoir where I share with you, the readers, the world, my journey in building a better you. I share my inspiration, I share my motivation, I share my experiences, my setbacks, my disappointments, and of course, I have to share my victories because God is good. He's been good to me, and there's been a lot of victories along the way. But I share all of that information in my personal book. So please go out and buy it, purchase it today, tomorrow. Support the cause because it's a wonderful cause, I assure you. Not only am I excited to be here on this day, this launch, this day, this celebration for this book, again, My Journey to Building a Better You, I'm even more excited to release my workbooks, my 4 development workshops for young ladies. If you don't know, Building a Better You is a personal development life skills program. What I do is use fashion as a platform to build self-esteem, build character, confidence, leadership skills. And the wonderful part, the special part about these books is that I actually have real young ladies, real girls who are now women that have gone through the program that have contributed to these workbooks. So this is very special to me. It means a lot to me. And I have a treat for you this afternoon. I promise you I have a treat. Because not only have they contributed to these workbooks, these young ladies, some of them, shall I say, are here. They're here in the house with me in Cary, North Carolina. So get ready, sit back, be prepared to be inspired, to be motivated, to be empowered for just this moment. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. I promise you. Again, my journey to building a better you, my personal memoir. I'm going to come back and share a little bit about what's inside with you. And then, of course, my additional guests will come and bless you as well. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. All right. Hey, everyone. I am back again. This is Sharon DeCoster, once again coming to you live from Cary, North Carolina. It's funny because I didn't know what direction I would go in writing a book. I knew I wanted to write something. It's been a while since I've kind of shared my story, if you would. And as I mentioned when I announced that I was writing a book, that for the most part with the program, I would always put my girls out front because it was never about me. It's still not about me. I always wanted them to shine. So when I created this program, it was really about working on self-esteem, working on confidence, and then building them up so that they feel good about themselves, and then they would be able to go forward and then be able to be a blessing to someone else. So, it's funny, over the years, I've been asked, why are you doing this program? What is your motivation? I think a lot of times people would wonder who I was because I'm not really an outwardly talkative person. I like to talk. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more reserved, if you would. So a lot of times when I was going about my day or just pursuing the program, I would go into different meetings. When I first started this program back in 2002, mind you, it was like going into meetings and I would go in and sit down and be very quiet. I'm very poised, if you would, but very quiet. And for the most part, some would wonder who I was. Now, for me, I will share, and I will share this with you, and I shared this in my book, that I was truly the underdog in the process because I didn't necessarily have all the credentials that man or society says you should have to do a program of the magnitude of which I implemented Building a Better You. So what I took the time to do is to write a little bit in the book about my personal upbringing, because I think if you understand where I came from, understand my upbringing, it would be a lot easier to understand my motivation. So what I would like to do, and I'm only going to just take a few, sentences, if you would, because I do want you to go out and buy the book, but I am going to give you enough. That way you can at least know what type of content is included in this book here. And then, like I said, there'll be some other treats that I have in store for you in just a moment as well. So, I make a joke because I have to put my glasses on. I used to can just read from afar, no problems, but now as I've gotten older, I need some glasses to see what I'm reading. So I am going to just read just a few sentences from my book itself. With the book, what I decided to do is to break the book, my personal book rather, into 4 chapters. Each chapter is titled after my workshops. I offer 4 development workshops or 4 development programs. The first one being all about me. This particular program or workshop series, if you would, chapter basically is about self-esteem. It's about building your value system. You know, a lot of times, like our young people, they're not clear on their values. A lot of times we go out into the world as young people and they're not clear on the things that are important to them, their upbringing. A lot of times they forget their little bits and tidbits and the seeds that their parents and their great parents, grandparents, and mentors in the community has poured into them. So it was very important for me to make sure I implemented the value part of the program and the All About Me workshop series, if you would. So that's one of many. Again, goal setting, self-esteem, building, your confidence, financial literacy, if you would. That's some of what is included in the All About Me series as well. So I'm going to take just, like I said, a few sentences from each chapter, and there's only 4, so I'm not going to be long, and just read a little bit, and then I'll give you a little bit of background as to why I decided to read this one in particular. So the part of the All About Me, page 10 to be exact. You know, my dad was my first example of a real man. He had a quiet strength that did not care for all the bells and whistles in life. He was very private and believed that you should never let people know what you have. In other words, always be modest in your approach. Let people think what they want to about you. But he also believed in having the better things in life and working hard for them. That's one little section there I wanted to read. And then another little section I want to read, a part of the All About Me chapter workbook. My mom was heavily into the church by the early to mid 1980s. We were brought up Baptist, and by the year 1984, my mother had become the first woman pastor ordained at Union Baptist Church in Stamford, Connecticut. This was a big deal, once again, because it was no secret that women were not as respected as leaders. Many believed a woman should only be seen and not heard, and especially not from the pulpit. And as the youngest, I was the one that had to go with my mom on the mommy trips or the church programs, if you would. So I was actually exposed to a woman that would stand up before a podium. As I put in my book, she was like a goddess to me because she was strong, she was confident, she articulated herself. You know, she knew who she was. And I remember as a little girl just seeing that woman, that role model, stand before, hundreds of people preaching, the word, preaching God's word. She didn't mix words, if you would. And so that was my example, one of my examples, my strongest female example growing up. And then, as I mentioned with my dad, as I mentioned, he was very modest. He taught us, you keep what you have private. It's not about being showboaty. It's not about telling the next person or bragging, because you can have something today and it can be gone tomorrow. So those were like my part of my seeds that were poured into me at an early age, and it helped to build my confidence. It helped me to carry myself very humbly, very modestly. And that's what I was able to pour into the program. And that's part of what I taught my girls and going forward, that, it's not about, being better than anyone else, because we're all, equal, but it's really about presenting yourself in a polished way with a nice presentation, carrying yourself like a young lady, and being confident in the process. And there's a difference between confidence and conceit. Okay, there's always that fine line, if you would. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about yourself. There's nothing wrong with commending yourself. As I would tell my girls, there's nothing wrong with patting yourself on the back when you accomplish things. Don't be so closed-mouthed about it to where you can't necessarily celebrate your accomplishments, but always be modest about it. Be humble about it. Okay, so that was part of my upbringing, and those experiences is what pretty much contributed to my chapter All About Me. And of course, there's a lot more good information in that All About Me chapter, so make sure you pick it up. Okay, so now moving forward, I have to keep going because I'm so excited about who's coming up after me. My next chapter in this book is called My Choice. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, My Choice. My Choice is a workshop series that is about making good decisions, communication skills. We all are pretty much one bad decision from being somewhere we don't want to be. So it's about thinking your thoughts through, being able to make sound decisions, not allowing others to influence you. My choice does include, of course, the peer pressure, bullying, if you would, social media. I always have taught the girls that have gone through the program that choose your friends wisely. Your friendships are a reflection of you. Who's the smartest one in your circle? If you find that you're the smartest one in your circle, then you need to expand your circle, because the question will then be, who are you gleaning from? Who is it that you can learn from? So My Choice is really about decision making, just to sum it up. Okay, and I do want to read the section about decision making, or shall I say my choice. Okay, please forgive me. I had to put my glasses back on, y'all. All right, here we go. So, My Choice, Chapter 2. Having boundaries, that we said, does not mean anything terrible. Boundaries are necessary. We all must learn how to go it alone sometimes in life, which is actually healthy. It prevents codependent behaviors. Some people have to have other people around them in order to feel complete, or have someone to do things with them in order for them to do them. Romantic relationships, personal relationships, and business relationships all require us to have boundaries and be open to change them if necessary. Now, like never before, I'm a firm believer that we have to be okay with our own company before we can become attached to someone else. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Boundaries. Boundaries are so important to have in life. Has been probably part of my saving grace, if you would, because you have to know how sometimes to reevaluate the people that are close to you. Everyone does not deserve to have front row in your life, period. There's some people that you need to push back 1 or 2 aisles back from where they were at when you may have started out with them however many years ago. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that maybe the chapter or the season of life that you may have shared together is over. Know when the story is over. Get up from the table. That's in my book. I won't dare say it because I want you to read it, but there is a famous singer that says, and I won't call out because I want you to read it, but she says, know when to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. Know when to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. Know your boundaries in life. Never become so dependent on a person to where if they were to die tomorrow or they were to walk away tomorrow, you cannot go on in life. That's not how God designed you. We are all individuals. And it's okay to say, this isn't working for me. And I'm not saying it where you're just jumping around and being promiscuous. Let me qualify or quantify my statement there. Okay, because a commitment and vows are something different. But even in that, you still have to know that there's boundaries. You always have to have self-respect, respect for yourself, and know when you say this is not healthy. What can we do to make this right? But it requires 2 people to make that right together. It can't be one person trying and the other person is not. You're setting yourself up for failure, disappointment. In relationships, you have to be whole and complete before you get involved in these relationships. That's one of the things that I can honestly say. I've seen some of my girls, not necessarily the girls with me or today or what have you, but just going through the program over the years, the many, many years. Like I said, Building a Better You has been around since 2002. But a lot of them have, involved themselves with relationships, and they go from relationship to relationship to relationship. There's no healing process. There's no cleansing. There's no release. They just feel like they have to have a man, or a man might feel like I just have to have a girl. But that's relationships aren't supposed to complete you. Relationships should only complement you. And the only way that they will complement you is if you're complete. It's like you're putting on a piece of jewelry. My earrings, I have my outfit on. My outfit is complete with or without my earrings. But if I put my earrings on, my earrings just complements my outfit. So the same thing applies as it would be for personal relationships, work relationships. Sometimes you might have coworkers that are maybe, sometimes you come in, you ever found it to be where some days you come in and someone is just always complaining. Every time you turn around, they got something, I'm having a bad day. It's just bad. Everything's bad. What's good? The cat died. The dog got ran over. I burnt my toast. What's good? Is there anything good? When you find people that are constantly always negative, always got something to say, always, never can bring anything positive to the table. It's always something negative, just catty. For what reason? Then you got to reevaluate. That's where the boundaries come into play. That's where you draw the line. And you say, you know what? You're good. We're good. But you're going to have to be good over there for right now while I'm growing, while I'm progressing. Because there is a scripture, and I put that in the book. I'm not going to call it out, but maybe I will. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. And I'll let that sit for just a minute. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. So know your boundaries. Know your boundaries. And that's part of my choice. Thank you. All right, we're rolling, huh? I believe we are. I have just 2 more chapters, y'all. Are y'all with me still? I hope so. Are y'all enjoying this? I hope so, because I am. Can you tell? All right, here we go. Chapter 3. My body is important. Let's see. This one is about having balance mentally, emotionally, spiritually, having balance, taking care of your body, eating well, drinking your 8 glasses of water a day, getting, your 7 or 8 hours of sleep, which I am so guilty. These past months has been, oh my goodness, working on like 2 and 3 hours of sleep a night, trying to get books done. But it is important to have balance, and it's also important to be able to not take life so serious. When I say don't take life so serious, don't take life so serious to where everything is just so, you got to do this. It's a constant, 70% on work and 25% on family, which is fine. Family's good. And then that last little 5% is you. Does that equal 100, y'all? I hope so. Okay. Okay. Balance. Something's off balance. If you have 70% work, 25% family, and then 5% you, something's lacking. So you have to bring balance to your life. My body is important is about, recognizing your temple, recognizing what God has given you, not taking it for granted. There's so many people out there that would love to switch places with you and I, stop complaining about things. Be happy, laugh at some things, laugh at yourself. Matter of fact, let me share with you something that I thought it was humorous enough to put it in the book. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Putting my glasses back on, y'all. I need my glasses. Though things were taking shape, there were also some very interesting moments along the way. I say that because it's important to stay lighthearted on the journey. There will be moments of wanting to cry, but there will be laughter, but laughter will be the best antidote. I remember one time preparing to go into the office for a group session on a Saturday morning. I had quite a few bags in my hand and I was walking across downtown Durham to be exact. I had office space that was above a hair salon. It was a studio office space, beautiful office space. And of course, to get to the studio, I had to cross the street whenever I parked on the street, downtown Durham off of Paris Street. And I didn't want to make two trips. I called myself walking in with all these bags in my hand because I didn't want to make two trips. And anyone knows me, I'm notorious, have been, notorious for wearing my heels. I've slowed down on wearing heels, y'all. I can't wear heels like I used to. But, anyone knows me knows that I was just notorious for putting on a heel. It didn't matter what I was wearing it with. I didn't have a problem with it. Well, on this particular day, thank God, I had on some flip-flops walking across the street to the office, downtown Durham, bright and early, wasn't that many cars out. And I don't even have to read this from the book because I can remember it like it was yesterday. And got in the middle of the street and a bag dropped. And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. I got a whole bunch of bags in my hand. Oh, Lord. So me being the determined person that I am, I call myself bending down, trying to balance with the bags in my hand. And as I got down and I was getting ready to reach for that bag, well, I felt myself losing balance. And I was like, oh, Lord, I'm getting ready to fall. What's getting ready to happen? I'm ready to fall in the middle of the street, Lord. And lo and behold, it was a thing of sharing you're getting ready to fall. You know how you just think something through in your mind, kind of slow motion? And sure enough, them bags dropped. Well, no, it was a matter of me either falling back or dropping everything. Well, I opted to just fall back and then I dropped everything. So here I was in the middle of downtown Durham, in the middle, like literally in the middle of the street, on my behind with bags everywhere. And I sat there for about 10 seconds and I said, well, I'll be a dog. And I just started laughing because really, I didn't get hurt. Don't get me wrong. It was kind of funny. And if somebody was watching from the window or in the car, they got a good laugh. And sure enough, I heard this horn beep and I looked back while I'm still on the ground and there was this man driving up in his Jaguar. And he said, ma'am, are you okay? And when I look back, it so happened to be at the time, God rest his soul, Mr. Sturdivant. He was a hotel owner downtown Durham, which Paris Street, back in the day was considered Black Wall Street, if you would. And he owned the hotel at the time on the corner. And when he looked back, well, I looked back and then he looked to see who it was like our eyes locked. And then we both just laughed. And he was like, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. And he was like, you need some help? And I was like, no, I'm good. And I just got up and got my bags and walked into the building. But my point in even sharing that, I'm okay with it. Hey, I can laugh at myself. Life is not that serious for me. It's not, it'll never be that serious. And I share that just to say that I hope in your journey, on your way to wherever it is you're headed, that you never take life so serious that you can't be lighthearted. That was one of the things I did share in my All About Me chapter that, growing up with my family, my sisters, my cousins, which are, my first cousins, my father's brother's children, if you would, we laugh, we crack jokes. You had to have tough skin because we would have little captain sessions, if you would. That's just what we did. Life is never that serious to where you can't take a moment to laugh at things and not be, facetious. I'm not suggesting that, but to be lighthearted. In other words, that's the moral of my brief story. Okay, so that brings my balance. That was just me sharing one of many examples. I know how to have a good time. I know when to handle business, and I know family time as well. So you got to be able to juggle the three of them so that you can be balanced in your mind, so you can protect your mental health. It can't be work all the time and no play. You're setting yourself up for something health-wise. So take a moment to and we can't forget, my God, spiritual balance, spirituality. Pray. I can't speak to anyone's religion. I know who, for me, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. God is real. He's been real in my life since I was, since I came into the world, if you would. That's all I know. As my mother said, stay with Christ. That's what it is for me, So for whoever and whatever your religion is, so be it. But for me, I just say, bring balance. Bring to protect your mental, your physical, and then, of course, your spiritual side. Okay? My body is important, y'all. That's the third chapter. All right? So we rolling. I believe we're rolling. And then my last one that I'm going to share, and actually, I jumped a little bit, and there's a takeaway. And one of the things I really wanted to share, because this really applied to me, and I thought it would be just great to share this one. And this one is just kind of like and the book is cool, y'all. It's not just, black and white. It's color, on the cover. Beautiful cover. I have to talk to you about my design, my design person. I have to tell you about Miss Sin McGregor. She's awesome. I'm going to tell you about her before I leave this platform, because she did an awesome job. Definitely will give her a plug, because she did an amazing job, just the whole process. But this is the last thing that I'll share from my book. The biggest lesson for me is that God will always use the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Everything, and hear me when I say this, everything that I built with Building a Better You, with God's grace, with his anointing, with him pruning and preparing me and removing the wrong people and bringing in the right people. And over the years, it hasn't always been an easy process, because, of course, pruning never feels good, But everything I built with Building a Better You happened without all the grandeur and titles society says you should have to be important or know what you are talking about. Yes, continue to learn and accomplish great things. Go to school, obtain that additional degree, but don't get caught up in titles, because God is no respecter of man. He favors the judge in the courtroom or the doctor in the sick room as he would the homeless person on the street or the young person who has seemingly lost their way. That part of me sharing that section with you is really about, as I mentioned, I was the underdog, y'all. It was a scary process starting out. I've been told no more than I've been told yes. I've been told I'll get back with you more than when I've been told, hey, let's work together. I've been told, hey, we don't have money to do X, Y, and Z, but we'll take your free services and we'll collect the paycheck. I've been told that you don't have the credentials. I have my degree now. Don't get me wrong. I have a bachelor's degree. Graduated from St. Augustine's University. Yay. Falcon. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Right. I have a degree, but I didn't get my degree until I was an adult. Well into an adult. And I'm not discouraging any young person, because education is important. You have to have it. You have to have some level of training, education, trade this day and time. Do not get out of high school and not go back to school and get some additional something. It's required. Why, you might ask? Because we live in a very competitive state, if you would. Every other person, young person, 18, 19, 20, they have some sort of degree, And if you say, well, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, you still got to get some sort of trade. You got to get some kind of learning underneath your belt. And you can never just rely on just one thing. I'm an advocate. I'm a believer of multiple streams of income. Anybody that knows me knows that Miss Sharon always is doing something. I would never rely on one source of income. Never, ever, ever. You're setting yourself up when you do so. So when you say, well, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to get my own, I'm going to start my own business, that's lovely. That's great. But what if, God forbid, something happens? Because you got to keep in mind, they say, you want to make God laugh, tell him what your plans are. God may have a different plan or a different route for you. Sometimes, your personal aspirations and desires, he'll allow you to experience along the way to purpose. That's what it was for me. I started out modeling. I modeled professionally for several years. I did print work. It's all in this book. I did print work. I did runway. I taught runway. I worked as an agency director for the world's largest international modeling agency. I went to schools all throughout North Carolina scouting talent on behalf of the agency before I realized that there was a stronger purpose and calling on my life, and that was to build up young people, young girls. It wasn't about the outward appearance, and that's what a lot of young people are so caught up in. Not all, I dare not say that. I would dare not put everybody in the same, basket, if you would. But a lot of people and adults are so caught up with their outward appearance that they negate the most important thing. You can be a beautiful person. You can have the most, stunning appearance, male, female, what have you. But if you have a bad personality, if you're ugly, how you treat people, if you're disrespectful, that overrides it all. So it's okay. Keep moving, keep shining, right? Know that there's a great opportunity. The world is like a oyster. Your platform for new things, great things. But learn. But just never get so caught up in your title to where you think you're better than, because there's no such thing. Because when you get to that place, God has a way of humbling us all. And if He humbles you, you don't want God's humbling. So it's better to humble yourself while you can, okay? Because if He humbles you, you might not like it. And if you don't know Him, it really will be a long journey to get to know Him in that process, all right? So that's some of what's in my book, My Journey to Building a Better You, a memoir of how self-esteem and the love of fashion evolved into a lifestyle brand and lifelong purpose far greater than self. You got to go get it, y'all. You can not only get it on my website, which for those that go to my website, which is www.myjourneytobuildingabetteryou, spelled out, .com. You can go on the website and order the book and get a signed copy. And for those that have already paid and waiting for their signed copy, I promise you it's on its way. Or you're more than welcome to go to Amazon.com and get the copy, either way. All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. God is good. God is real. My journey to building a better you. We'll be right back with you. Hey, everybody. I am back. Sharon Yvonne DeCoster in the house, Cary, North Carolina, streaming live. Celebrating the release of my book, My Journey to Building a Better You, a memoir, as well as some workbooks, some new elevated workbooks for building a better you. I did want to take just a few moments to just tell you just a few things, and that is if you purchase my paperback today, March 14th, on my website, or actually, only way I would know is if you do it on the website. So go to the website, y'all, www.myjourneytobuildingabetteryou, and purchase the book. Like I said, you'll get a signed copy, but you also will be entered into a drawing to win a free headshot session by my professional photographer, Rick Craig. Pics by Rick. Rick is like a brother to me. I've known Rick since the modeling agency. He's awesome. He's been a blessing to me, to the program. Rick is the one that takes care of the photo shoots that the girls participate in at the end of the program. So he is gracious enough to offer one of the raffle giveaways, 250 value photo shoot session. So go to the website, order the book, get into the drawing for that prize. Also, another prize that will be given away for this raffle, for the raffle that I'm giving away for purchasing the book, will be Sin McGregor. Now, let me tell you about Sin. Sin's actually, you should see the bag at my montage that's going through when the commercial comes up. It is valued at $35, but it's a beautiful bag. It's an eco-friendly bag. Sin McGregor. Sin, I have to read this. I have to say it right. Okay, let me get my glasses. Hold on. Hold up. Okay. I have to read this right because I have to make sure I give her just credit. She's been amazing, y'all. She's been my book coach. She has thought of things that I would have never dared thought to think of, if you would. She's come through and encouraged me. She's checked me when I needed to be checked. And my personality, I need someone like that. I don't need someone to tell me what I want to hear. I need someone around me. I need people around me that's going to be honest. And I thank God for her. I mean, can I just tell y'all real quick, like the backstory, how we met? Because I think it's actually cool. And this is just going to speak to how God is. Now, there was an office it was a co-working space, and I met Sin over at this co-working space called the Vibe Cary. And I have to shout out Leah, because Leah's been awesome as well, Leah and Nanette. So now Leah had made an introduction for Sin and I. We were sitting in the lobby. Sin was over on the side. I was over here waiting for Leah to talk some business. And she did like a quick introduction, Leah did, and then she walked away. So then Sin and I just kind of had a little brief conversation. When you meet someone, you're kind of like, hi, how you doing? But you don't really get into no conversation because you don't really know that person. So, you're just like, hey, how you doing? And that was it. So I don't really know what brought the conversation up where I found out that she was holding a model call because she is a designer. And she's a designer, product design. And so she was telling me that she was preparing for a model call, if you would. And she just, wasn't really clear on what direction she was going with it. And right when she said model call, I was like, little antennas went up because, of course, that's my background, a part of it. And I said, oh, wow, what do you have? Let me take a look. And so then she started showing me like her model call that she was putting together. And she wasn't certain if that was the right way to go about it or not. And so I was like, well, here, maybe you could do it this way or what have you. And, I just did it, just natural conversation, just being genuine in who I am. And she clearly was being genuine in who she was. And longer story short, we exchanged information. I believe she shared with me what her model call looked like. She was actually doing a model call, looking to do something over on the campus of North Carolina State University. And so then here it is. That was like, just say 6 months out, ago. And then fast forward, I'm meeting with Leah over at the Vibe again. And I was telling her that I was in the process of writing this book and that, I was looking to do some different things. And so she mentioned Sin's name. Now, before I say that, Sin said to me, Sharon, thank you for helping me. I appreciate that. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. And I was like, oh, okay, not thinking anything more because I didn't really know what I could do other than just like a model call or what have you, at the time as I was thinking. And lo and behold, when Leah said, what about, don't forget Sin designs books, she's a graphic designer, she's awesome. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's right, I remember. And so I reached out to her, I sent her an email, and I did just kind of like, hey, this is Sharon, I want to ask you to do something for me, do you have a moment? And then she responded immediately, and then I told her what I was doing, and ever since then, it's like we became just really, great friends, business partners, if you would. She's been a great book coach, advisor. So if anyone's looking to write a book, anyone's looking to do some graphic work, anyone that, as I think one of her titles is book doula. She's a book doula, y'all. So any of that needs, necessary work, I'm plugging her in. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, Sin. Okay, here we go. Sin McGregor, let me tell you, Sin is a lifelong creative pro who works on select projects that involve expertise in art direction, graphic design, illustration, consulting, and product design. She is an award-winning abstract media, mixed media painter, and surface designer. She offers eco-friendly decor and apparel at her Etsy shop. So she has some real cool pieces, y'all. Please check Sin McGregor out. And just real quickly for her handle, social media handle, connect with her on Instagram at Sin MacGregor, M-A-C Gregor _art, and as well Twitter at Sin, C-Y-N, just J-U-S-T, Sin, C-Y-N. Check her out, y'all. So again, she's giving away one of the prizes for the raffle. And then Rick has his photo shoot session. And I cannot not plug myself, y'all. Life coaching. I am a certified life coach. I'm certified in mindfulness. Someone may ask, well, what is that, Sharon? Certified in mindfulness. I don't know. I didn't even know there was such a thing. So I took the class. I'm like, okay, but I am a certified life coach on a very serious note. And that is one of the things that I will be throwing into the raffle as well. I will be giving away free 45-minute sessions that is valued at about $50, $45, $50. And I'll be giving away quite a bit of those. And of course, a signed book copy from me. And then if you don't know, I'm getting ready to tell you, I also have some lifestyle accessories that I will be plugging in the next time we have this platform, because that was what I was going to say till later. But there will be more of these recordings, you all. And I'm reaching out to people to sponsor, people that would love to come on the show and talk about the things that they're doing. And I'm always about uplifting our young people. So of course, I'm always about young people that are doing some great things, entrepreneurship, doing great things, going off to school, just working, being a blessing to the community, being a blessing to their family. So yes, there will be more opportunities like this. So definitely stay in touch with me. And again, in order for you to enter into the raffle, you have to go to my website and purchase the book today, March 14th. Going forward, I'll probably say, over the next couple of days, if you would, www.myjourneytobuildingabetteryou.com. Thank you, y'all. Stay tuned because I have a treat for you when I come back. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am back. Sharon DeCoster is in the Sharon Yvonne DeCoster is in the house. And guess who is to the left of me? We have my first special guest. I am so happy to introduce to you Miss Alexis Green. Alexis Green, let's give it up, y'all. Let's give it up. Yes. Alexis, hi, honey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so proud of this young lady here. Alexis started with me, Building a Better You, in the 7th grade, y'all. 7th grade. And she is 24 years old. How old are you when you're in the 7th grade, Alexis?
I was about probably like maybe 12.
That's a long time, y'all. Yeah. That's like 12, that's like 12 years, right? Yeah. Being in the program. And, I remember her when she first came down. I can think of some stories because we've had some great times. Oh my gosh. We've had some great times, but I won't reminisce too far back, but I will just say that Alexis has been with me a very long time. I'm very proud of her. She's always had a sweet spirit. She was very quiet. She was very reserved when she came in. But she was sweet, she was kind, and she was open to learning. She may not have come in with the mindset of I'm learning, like, I don't know, I'm gonna let her tell her story. But, she was just always a sweet spirit. In all seriousness, she was just a sweet spirit, and I'm really proud of you. And I'm gonna let you tell your accomplishments for yourself. But what she is holding is just a keepsake. So this isn't the full workbook, but this is one of the covers of the new workbooks that we're introducing this summer, if you would, spring, summer. And it is titled All About Me. And Alexis is one of the many young ladies that have gone through the program, but she contributed content to this particular workbook. So first off, Alexis, tell us, if you don't mind, and if you remember, what were you going through? What was your experience with baby? I want to hear what your experience was like with baby. And keep in mind, when I say baby is the acronym for Building a Better You. So BABY, Building a Better You. So Alexis, I just want to know what was your experience like when you first started with the program? What were you coming into? What was your mindset? What was going on with you, in other words?
So I was going through a lot at the time. I was dealing with bullying, self-esteem issues, family issues, and things of that nature. So when I came into the program, I kind of came in negatively about it. So I didn't really want to think too much of it because, it was something my mom signed me up for. And I was just like, oh, she just want to get me out the house. But as I sat in the program and I got to know Miss Sharon and I got to understand the program and what it was for, which is for encouraging women, young women such as myself, to become better individuals, I took a greater ear at it. I took a greater listen and I understood the program.
Very good, very good. Now, Alexis, do you have something you want to read? What are you going to read for us? Because I want everybody to give a little bit, excerpt, so that they're not going to read 4 chapters like Miss Sharon did. But I want you to, whatever you feel you would like to share. And y'all have to see her book, the book that she's in. Let me tell you. Oh, she poses like it's nobody business. She's petite, but don't let petite fool you because she poses. She's awesome on the runway, but she's also smart. So I can't wait to just tell or let her tell some of her great things that she has going on. So okay, so we'll start out. Read a little bit if you don't mind.
So I want to just feed off of some of the stuff that you said, and I don't want to get into much of the juicy stuff because I want you guys to read the workbooks. But something that she said, we forget about who we are as individuals when we go through things and we see things. We kind of put ourselves on the back burner, or we start to become what we have been or what we have gone through. So I just wanted to read. Everyone has a testimony, not just a story, but a testimony, because that's what it is. You may have been abused, molested, sexually assaulted, raped, or might have been close to death. But you do not have to look, feel, or be like what you have been through. I am a walking testimony. Take that hurt, that pain, or that anger and channel it into something else. Forgive yourself and take that story and make it his story or her story. By making it your testimony and learning from it, by bettering yourself, the best way to make your enemies, doubters, and the devil mad is by being kind and being successful.
All right, I like that. That was good, Alexis. That was nice. That was nice. So, okay, so I don't want to and to your point, I want to give you some follow-up on that one. So, what would you say, Alexis, to the next young girl coming up? Like, what would you say based off of what you just said? Like she said, we all go through things and we're a walking testimony, but do you allow that, what you've gone through, to sour you? Or do you allow that, what you've gone through, to harbor in your heart as unforgiveness? So what would you say to that next young girl, female, that's going through and struggling with some of the things that may have happened to her that hurt her as a young lady herself?
I would say to channel that, like I stated, channel that and put it into something. The same amount of energy that you put to down yourself or to accuse yourself, or blaming yourself for whatever's going on in your life, put that into art. Put that into music, put that into poetry, dance, fashion, whatever your specialty is. And everybody does have a specialty. You just have to find out what it is, put it into that, and I promise you, you will see a greater outcome within yourself as a person, but you will also see success.
That's nice. That's real good. That's real good. Real good, Alyssa. I'm real proud of you, honey. I'm so proud of you. And it's funny that she would say poem. Good segue. You want to do a little bit? Just maybe like the first? Because Alexis has written a poem. Let me see real quick. She's written a poem. It's in her book, the All About Me workbook, a poem by Alexis Green. And I'll let her tell the title, but she's only going to read like the first paragraph. Okay? And this is her. And let me tell you, I asked Alexis to do one of her poems that she had written when she was in South Carolina. She lived in South Carolina. I said, let me hear. And she didn't hesitate. She went in that back room and came out with a notebook, and she stood up and she was animated with it. I said, all right now. So I said, let me get you to write a poem for the book. So she did just that. So let's listen to a little bit of what Alexis has to say, the title of it and everything else.
All right. So the poem that I decided to write is called Ambitious Queen, because that is what we all are as women. We are queens, nothing less. And so it says, what makes a queen ambitious? Is it when she wakes up at the crack of dawn to get her day started? Is it when she works day in and day out without a complaint in the world? Or how about when she puts everything and everyone's needs before her own?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, all of these things make an ambitious and an amazing queen. You are the light that many people search for. You are the healer, go-getter, the trendsetter many want to call their own. Gotta get the workbook.
Gotta get the workbook. Alexis, I'm so proud of you. Please tell, this is the last question I believe I want because I think it's big and I want you to just tell the world because I'm happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Please tell everyone, what did you recently accomplish and what are you about to do? What's next for Alexis?
So I recently received my bachelor's degree in social work from Limestone University in South Carolina. It was known as Limestone College, but now they officially are known as Limestone University. And I recently got accepted into the graduates program at North Carolina Central University. So I will be getting my master's in social work.
That's what's up. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud. Thank God bless. I'm so proud. I love Alexis Green, y'all. This is my girl. One of many. One of many. Let's give it up for Alexis, y'all. All about me. All about me. Thank you. Good job, honey. Yeah. Y'all, what did y'all think? What did I tell you? You were in for a treat. Alexis Green, what can you say, y'all? And again, I'm super proud of her. Her mom, her family is beautiful. Miss Garrett, God bless you real good. Thank you so much for allowing me to pour into Alexis for the seasons that she's been with me. God bless you real good. Little EJ as well. God bless you real good. And so now we have actually a baby girl, Building a Better You girl, that has gone through the program, but they're not in the house with us today. But she wanted to come on, and I so appreciate her. You know, I do believe it's important to never forget the people that have poured into you along the way. There's been so many people that have poured into me, and I cannot imagine, you know, just if they were to call and say, hey, can you help me do X, Y, and Z? Me saying, no, I don't have time. And forget just maybe the wonderful things that they've done for me in the past. So I appreciate this young lady because she texted me this morning, bright and early, and said, Miss Sharon, what time do I need to be in the yard? And I said, Anna J, is that you? So Anna J is in the yard, y'all. Baby's in the yard, and Anna J's in the yard. So Anna Jeffries.
Hello.
Hey, Anna Jeffries, it's all you, girl.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Sharon. I would love for you to come back too so we can talk if that's a thing. I'm not sure if it's possible. But yeah, I wanted to give y'all a little bit of who I am, how I've grown through the program, where I started, all of it. So my name is, I go by Ione Jeffries. I am a musician. I'm also a entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. I have two companies as it stands, Our Ruhi Inc., which I run 100%. I'm CEO and the founder. We do a lot of, I help people, particularly Black people and brown people, to escalate their businesses, to get them from ground zero all the way to being Fortune 500 and being considered at that level of social success. And then I also, I'm CEO and co-founder of Handewa Farms, which is a Afro-Indigenous hemp farm here in North Carolina. We also have an extended program where we provide food and organic food to families that need it and free of charge, just from our hearts. That's what we love to do. So that's some of who I am now. Some of, how I've come to grow into my position and my purpose here on earth. But I'll tell you, starting out, so I joined the baby program in 2008, and I was in the program actively until 2012 when I graduated from high school. Wow, when I first started, I actually came to Miss Sharon because I went to, this is when we were based out of Northgate Mall. So we were at Northgate, and I remember I saw in the window this little post that said, if you're an entertainer, if you're like a musician or singer, come and try out, come and audition. So I begged my mother, and at the time, just coming from like an indigenous background, we don't usually have, we don't usually participate in a lot of events or a lot of extracurricular, just, safekeeping, wanting to make sure our traditions stay alive, et cetera, et cetera. So my mom has always been very protective of that and making sure, like, if I do join something, it must be lucrative. It must be something that's going to grow me. It must be beneficial, And Miss Sharon became very close to my mother as well. So I know she can attest to some of that. But yeah, and during that time, I came in for an audition, and I remember Miss Sharon was like, I want you to sing this song by Billie Holiday, God Bless the Child. And, I was like, okay, I'll go home, rehearse it. I came back and sang. I was so shaky and so nervous. I'll never forget it. And Miss Sharon was like, hey, I do believe that one day you could perform this song, though I think first you need to go through some programming. Like, we have to work on getting you out of that shell a little bit more. It's nice to be talented, but if you don't develop that skill set, and if you don't really take the time to know who you are and to trust who you are and the vision of your becoming, that it's not going to mean anything. So I went through the program. I learned, and she teaches like literally everything about growing up in this, in this world and with the society that's around us, just like learning to trust yourself. We learned how to model, runway. We did a lot of mannequin modeling, where we actually like pose in the store when we had to put shades on because people would try to come and like purposely distract us. We traveled, we did photo shoot galore. It just really pulled out a new identity. She taught us how to walk in heels and how to run in heels. 10 and 2, like we learned so much. And I'll tell you, I'm mad grateful for it, because now, particularly as a musician, and then even more so like as an actress, and I have a lot of involvement with just being an artist and being a creator overall. And I take so much of what I learned with Miss Sharon and I apply it still, like on a day-to-day basis, even when I'm teaching my little sisters and when I pass this information along to the youth in my life. And I'm not too far from being a youth. I'm only 26 years old. So we're looking at 13 years since I've been in the baby program from when I started. It got me to a place as well where I could be more comfortable with public speaking. So I'm a very knowledgeable person, I would say. I'm a very faith-based person, though without having the, how do I say it? Without having the groundedness that I needed during that time, it was really hard to develop myself to become who I am today. But it's because I had mentors such as Miss Sharon, and more than a mentor, truly like a second mother. You were a person that I will always just come to and say, hey, Miss Sharon, this is how I'm feeling about whatever the situation that's presented. And you would give me such keen advice, and more than advice, practical ways that I could implement into my life. So I'm very grateful. I feel as though our journey together is not done. This is truly just the start. I can't wait to see how it unravels and unfolds. But I stand here today as a person who has a lot of confidence in myself. And it's because I learned how to really source it from me inwardly, and not from, not taking too much account for what the world has to offer. Like Ms. Sharon was saying earlier, there are many times where I hear no, though I don't let that no stop me. I don't become defeated because of it. I use it as a necessary fuel to get me to my next step. And that's something she teaches, like, oh man, I remember I was even struggling so much with, I've dealt a lot just in my life with envy. And I remember one time in particular, Miss Sharon pulled me to the side and we would have classes together. But after that particular class, she was like, hey, I noticed that you're really holding on to friendships that do not serve you. Why are you doing that? And for me, it was more so, just an insecure thing, like, oh, well, I want to have friends there, or else I'll be alone. And she's like, what's wrong with being alone? I remember that conversation because it's something my mom's been saying to me forever. But it took you saying it to me in another context, in another setting, and then being able to apply it is something I still use today as a foundation of, when does Anna need to sit with herself and need to be in her own company for that betterment to happen, or for me to expand myself even more, and not really being so reliant on the systems at play, really coming to me and coming to myself for the answers and for that direction. And then when I do feel like I need that extra push, I have people I can reach out to as well. So that I learned so much, even how to take care of my skin, hair routines. We used to be in class doing facials, just an array of true self-care. And I will say, like, again, coming from that indigenous background, that's not something that we really explore, Yes, we're presently here, though we've learned to kind of blend in and do what everyone else is doing, but not necessarily from a standpoint of I'm caring for myself even beyond what just feels good. I'm doing the things that are necessary for my improvement. And you taught me the foundations of that. You taught me the elements to actually implement into my life to make it grander, to make myself feel better about my identity and my safekeeping with me. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anna J. She can't hear me, but can I talk?
I can hear you.
Hey, you can hear me, right? I'm so proud of you. God bless you real good, Anna J. And let me tell you, I call her Anna J. Her name, as she, Anna Jeffries, but we had more than one Anna in the class at one time. But I remember saying, Anna J. I'm just going to call you Anna J. And she's like, but I'm just super proud of you. It's funny you would tell the story because I was going to tell the story, so I'm glad you told the story because I remember when I said, Anna J, I want you to sing a Billie Holiday song, and you was like, Miss Sharon, no, and I was like, okay, I'll check on you later, and I walked away, and then you were like, okay, I guess I got to learn how to sing a song, so I really appreciate you singing that song, and you did an exceptional job, by the way. But Anna J has grown gracefully over the years. As she stated, her mom and I have become, exceptional friends. Her mother has a beautiful spirit. She's a woman of God. Her grandmother, they're praying women, and I always draw and gravitate towards praying women of faith, because you need that this day and time. But Anna J has truly blossomed as well, among many, like a lotus, if you would, a lotus flower, if you would, because I've seen her when she first came to the program, and she was shy. She really, she knew she had a gift. She knew she was talented, but she wasn't in that space at that time to really let it shine. So I appreciate God. I thank God every day for the Anna J's of the world, because what it shows me is that, God can, take what we think is not able to blossom and watch it grow, water it a little bit, and it comes full fruition, if you would. And she's just been an exemplary example of that, if you would. Another thing I have to point out, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Anna, because as you're hearing modeling, you're hearing runway, you're hearing photo shoot. This program is not about trying to make someone a model. That's my background, but a lot of what you learn when you are doing modeling is confidence, is posture, it is poise, it is presentation. Whether you wear sneakers every day or you wear pants or jeans every day, you have to know how to mix up your wardrobe. So, to be able to diversify your presentation and be ready for all the different occasions. Anna is an awesome artist, y'all. I mean, she gave you her plug, and Anna, I'm going to have you say it once again before leaving. That way people can remember what exactly it was and how they could find you. She is an awesome artist. I've seen some of her work that she's put out there on Facebook, and I always like it. And I say, gosh, Anna, I'm so proud of you. Look at you, look at you, look at you. And then the other last thing I want to say, Anna J invited me to her house. She cooked for her. She cooked for Miss Sharon.
Yes.
I was like, really? I mean, that means a lot to me. Y'all, let me tell you, it means a lot to me, because when a person can take the time out, that's what I said before she came on, when you can take the time out and just be a blessing to someone that has been a blessing to you, to some, I wasn't looking for anything in return. I just do it because I love doing it. God has blessed me. So why not share that blessing with other people? But she said, Miss Sharon, I want to cook for you. And she had me over to her apartment in Durham. And she prepared a lovely meal. And I said, Anna J, Miss Sharon got you next. And I'm still going to say it. Anna J, Miss Sharon got you next. I keep saying that. And Anna's like, Miss Sharon, I forgot. No, don't forget. because I didn't forget. So I just thank you, Anna J, for being who you are, just for being a blossom, just for showing, young ladies, young girls that you can do and you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to doing. And I want to ask you this before this segment is up here. What would you say to the next young girl coming up? What words of encouragement would you give to that next girl coming up to be able to push through adversity, to be able to be resilient, if you would, whenever you're being told no, when you're pursuing a gift such as your gift that you have? What would you say? What would be your words to her?
The journey is so unpredictable. We can do our best to try to map it out and try to make it and mold it to what we want it to be, though, our mere conception and our purpose precedes us. You're talking about the application of many, many, many generations of your becoming, and, going through this process for me in life has been facilitated by a lot of unlearning, a lot of redefining and refining of who I am. And I don't think there's a set destination, though the most important factor of my existence as it stands today is the element of gentleness. Being gentle with myself, being gentle with other people, being gentle with situations. There's truly no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. Circumstance is what it is. And if we can all just apply a little more gentleness, I speak to the whole of the youth, particularly today when we live with instant gratification. My mom always said to me since I was younger to never trade my future happiness for immediate gratification. And, you don't really know what that means until you go into something and you grow, and you become older and, dare I say, wiser just through the happenings of life. And I had a dear friend say to me, because again, I'm only 26, and I know a lot of people they're shocked by that sometimes. Though something that he mentioned to me, he was like, you're so self-reflective and aware that you can literally grow like 10 years in two because of the, just because of the accumulation of experience and the necessary wisdom that I apply. It's more than just words for me. It's a lifestyle. So I would say that gentleness and being soft with myself has really led me. And of course, it's like just God and having and serving a creator that I know has already made a way for me. I don't have to go out here and like do that heavy grind like you were talking about, really finding that balance. But it starts with gentleness. It starts with coming at it and treating yourself how you would that 5-year-old child that needed some attention and needed some extra love, gentleness.
That's good. And I appreciate that. That was good. Thank you so much, Anna J. I love you. I appreciate you taking out the time. It means a lot to me, more than you can even imagine right now. And, Miss Jeffries, I don't know if she's watching or she will watch, but, I love you as well. And I thank you for allowing me to pour into Anna J for the time frame that she has been with me. It really means a lot. And God bless you real good. And I'm always here. Okay, Michelle has a phone call away.
Right? I know it. I'm so grateful for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lunch soon. Love you. Okay, talk to you soon. And Anna J's in the yard, y'all. Anna J's in the yard. Yeah. Thank you, Anna. Talk to you soon. Great. Yeah. All right, y'all. What can I say? We are back. I am back once again. We are wrapping up this evening. Oh my goodness. Have you been inspired? Did you feel like, are you ready to go to the website? Have you gone to the website and ordered your book, your copy? Have you ordered your workbook copy? Again, 4 workbooks, as you've heard for yourself. Personal testimonies of girls that have gone through the program, some as young as 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, and now here they stand before you, before me, 15 years later for some, 10 years later for others, and they're still standing, looking good, feeling good, and still have something good to say about the program. So I thank you, ladies, from the bottom of my heart. Miss Sharon does thank you for taking out the time to be here on this afternoon. I could not leave this platform without just thanking a few additional people. Okay, so the first person I would like, or the next person I would like to thank, definitely I have to thank my family for always being there, for being supportive as needed, when needed. My nephew, Jay Robinson. Oh my goodness, Jay is in the house. He came and showed up for his Aunt Sharon, and it means a lot to me. I appreciate you taking the time for even exploring StreamYard with me. You know, we had a few Saturdays, and it was like, okay, let's figure this thing out, Jay. And Jay's like, all right, Aunt Sharon, I'll see what I can do. You know, he's real, you know, he's very precise, you know, he's on time, you know, he's about his business. And so I appreciate you taking the time to come out, because you didn't have to, but it means a lot that you did. So thank you. I love you. I'm proud of you. He's doing big things in the community as well on his job. That's the SaaS man over there. So thank you for being who you are, Jen. Definitely have to thank my next producer, Troy McNish. Did I say that right? Troy McNish. My fellow Falcon is in the house. He took the time at Liberty in the ninth hour, y'all. The ninth hour to pull this off, to make this successful for me. And I so appreciate you, Troy. Thank you. God bless you real good for being a blessing to the Building a Better You program, for taking out the time to make sure that it was done. It was done exceptionally. It was done proper. So thank you. God bless you. And hopefully we'll be able to work together in the future on other projects, because I believe God has some great things in store. I have to thank Mr. DJKM is in the house. I didn't get a chance to see him and not really hear him, but do I need to give you a real name, or are you okay with DJKM? All right, okay. Caballas McKeith is in the house, y'all. DJ KM is in the house, and he showed up, and he made sure the vibe was good as the girls came into the building. So thank you for coming through. And I was like, Cavalli, and he was like, well, what kind of music should I play? And I was like, you the DJ, you know what to play. You know our foundation. So he came in with some Christian music and some upbeat music. So I appreciate you for being here, as always. Good man of God. I so appreciate you. I have to, of course, thank the lovely Free Will Church for allowing us to come into their facility and occupy their space. I thank you once again, Sin. I thank you, Rick Crank, Sharon T. I know and pray, and my prayers are with you and the family. I got to thank my sisters, Denise and Yvette. Denise showed up today, y'all, so you know I got to thank you, because Denise is busy. She has a lot going on, but she took the time to come out here to carry, and I appreciate you, sis. You know I do. And then Yvette, yeah, I know, I see you, sis. You looking? You watching? I appreciate you real good. And so I thank my family, their spouses, and my other, nephews, just for being who you are. And I got to thank my daddy. He's not watching this, y'all, but, you'll hear in my book that, I lost my mom a couple of years ago, and that was probably the hardest thing our family had experienced, because she was the true matriarch of the family. She was the one that kicked down the doors, and she was the one that covered you. She was the one that people went to fight, to pray in the spirit, spiritual warfare. That was who she was. And so she's not here physically, but she's definitely here spiritually. And I said, Lord, give me a double dose of what you gave her, so I can walk in here with the authority that you've given her, that you would now give to me, and I will carry that torch and go on to the next. So thank you for, Daddy. Thank you. You're not watching this now, but I'll make sure you watch it later. I thank you for being just an amazing man of God, for being a great provider, for being, not only, my dad, my mentor, my guardian, but just for being a good friend. I thank you so much, So thank you. I don't think I'm leaving out. There's a lot of more people to thank, but you know who you are. If I'm leaving or your name out, charge it to the head and never to the heart. It's never intentional. For those friends that I haven't, the real friends that I haven't talked to in a while, thank you for understanding my absence. You know what I mean? I'm still here, still sharing, So thank you so much. And again, thank God, because without him, y'all, none of this would be possible. God is real. He is able. He can do exceedingly abundantly more than you or myself could ever think or imagine. So just trust him. Just try him. And I promise you, he'll never disappoint. So thank you so much. Again, Sin, thank you so much for being True Blue. Dr. Colbert, thank you so much for being my editor, my proof editor, and making it possible for me. My advisors from St. Aug, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so with that being said, again, my journey to building a better you. I got to grab my book, y'all. Hold on. Ba-dow. My Journey to Building a Better You, my personal memoir. Get your copy today. Like I said, for those that ordered, your signed copy is on its way. Look out for it. Your name will go into the drawing. If you go to the website, myjourneytobuildingabetteryou.com, and order your book, your name will go on the drawing, and then you'll hear from me when we pull those names. And look out for my next broadcast show. It will not be quite this long, but it will be very informative. It will be very empowering. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. So thank you. God bless you real good, y'all. Take care to the next. Building a Better You is in the yard. Thank you so much. Good night.